The truth is, one day he will be taller than me. But I've looked, and I've looked again, and as far as I can tell, he will never be better looking than me. Put us side by side, you'll see. Well, thank God he's bound to end up smarter than me. That's really the key. I don't know if I can go on without asking you a question. I'm not sure of the answer to this question, so I just need to ask. Are there any West Indians here today? New Zealand, we just had a vote as to whether or not to change the flag. It's almost identical to the Australian flag, but nicer than the Australian flag. It has a Union Jack up here and the Southern Cross down there. Many New Zealanders just said, let's just adopt the Jamaican flag. That's beautiful. Now I need you to hear me carefully because I don't want to give you the wrong impression, but the truth is, my earliest memories of West Indians are traumatic. Traumatic. You just had to mention West Indies to me. I would break out in a cold sweat. And I wasn't afraid of all West Indians, I need you to understand. Just about 11 of them. The main culprits were men with names like Joel Garner, Courtney Walsh, Patrick Patterson, Malcolm Marshall, Michael Holby, Dudley Ambrose, Colin Croft. Although some of you be students of the game and you will remember a little incident in New Zealand involving Colin Croft, the stumps, an umpire. We smiled. West Indians did not. Vivian Richards. Not a fast bowler, but when Richards was playing New Zealand, we had some fast bowlers. Those were bad days. Bad days if you were a New Zealander watching the West Indies pace attack, steaming in at what may have been 200 miles an hour. Taking apart our batsmen with abandon. Now the tables have turned. I'm standing here, and the West Indians have to listen to me. So this could be a great day. If you're not a West Indian, well, God bless you anyway. You can watch on. Watch on. Well, that was then. You've seen much lately. You know, New Zealand's doing a little better. But I will tell you this. My son and I were in Johannesburg, South Africa, I don't know, about 3 months ago. And I'm not going to tell you we were at a casino, because that would just raise questions in your mind. That would just raise questions. I'm happy to leave the questions just floating out there. The food hall, the food court, happened to be connected to a casino, you understand. Now, after we ate, actually on our way in to eat what turned out to be an Indian place, not a West Indian place. We noticed on the television screen in the mall area that the final of the 2020 World Championship was being played. And New Zealand should have been in that final. But we gave it to England in the semi-finals. The West Indies earned their way, so it was the West Indies against England. England ran up a respectable total, and the West Indies, frankly, plodded their way to a certain defeat. Certain. We would stand there watching and think they need to pick it up, they need to score faster, they need to increase the run rate. But they did not. We were coming back from having eaten, and we stopped and we watched the second last over as the West Indians were grinding out a run here and 2 runs there. And then the West Indies in the final over needed 23 runs to win. There was no way they were going to do that. It was impossible. Now you thought Iceland beating England in the soccer was something the other day. This was bigger because even though the West Indies could, they just wouldn't. You don't understand. You see, if you don't understand cricket, some of us here feel very sorry for you. Because you need to get an education as quickly as you can. 23 runs. And I forget the name, someone will tell me, of the hotshot West Indian batsman. It wasn't Barrett, it was that guy. He was at the wrong end. And a bowler named Carlos Braithwaite was on strike. And in came that poor old English bowler. Now, interestingly enough, he was born in New Zealand. I don't know what that means. And he came in and he bowled the first ball of the last over. And Braithwaite, the bowler, connected and hit that thing over the boundary for 6. Now, it's interesting. We were standing in a crowd of people watching that television screen. We were all West Indians. There wasn't an England supporter to be found. And when Braithwaite hit that first 6, oh, we were so excited. But we knew that the West Indies still needed 17 or 5. He hit a second 6. Now they needed 9 or 4. It can be done. 2 6s in a row didn't happen very often. He hit a third 6. Now that crowd grew. They heard the noise. People came running from all directions. And now the West Indies needed 5 or 3. Was he going to do it again? Yes. We were waiting in breathless anticipation, praying. Actually, I believe a revival broke out there in the food court. It was England or the West Indies. If you're an England supporter, you are outnumbered here. There wasn't an England supporter in all of Johannesburg. And in came that poor, victimized, fast bowler, traumatized by Carlos Braithwaite. Could he do it again? Whack! Pandemonium! Ecstasy! I have never been so pleased in all my life to see a West Indian victory. In fact, I have never been pleased in all my life. So on the off chance that there's a West Indian here today, thank you. But not for what you did to us in the 70s and the 80s. That was a lot to grow through. Well, now that we got that serious business out of the way, greetings to you from my wife Melissa and our daughter Shannon. They did not make the drive. My son and I made the drive from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Not for the faint of heart, but it's a boys' weekend, you understand. good for Dad and his boy to spend some time together. Not that we never spend time together. So I'm grateful to be with my boy. Sorry that my girls couldn't be here as well. Greetings to you on behalf of the It Is Written Media Evangelism Ministry. Now, I'm thankful that we have made it all the way to our 60th birthday this year at It Is Written. Thank the Lord for that. And you may not know this, but It Is Written is a donor-funded ministry. 95% of our income we raise ourselves. We are grateful for the additional 5%, don't get me wrong. But 95% makes us essentially a donor-funded ministry. So I want to thank you. I've met some of you already who've told me about this. Those of you who have supported or support It Is Written, thank you so very much, because we wouldn't be doing what we do without you. It means an awful lot. It's an exciting time for us. We have moved to Chattanooga. We have bought some land. We're going to build a building by the grace of God. We certainly need one. We're continuing to produce television programming that lifts up Christ and proclaims the everlasting gospel. And we are grateful that these programs are seen not only in the United States, but all around the world. We are in English and in Spanish, and it seems there isn't a day that goes by without somebody calling and saying, I have seen It Is Written, or I have seen Escrito Está. And I want you to tell me more. I want you to tell me where I can find a Seventh-day Adventist church in my community. We hear back from Guatemala and Mexico and Norway and New Zealand and Australia and all across the fruited plain. I'm thankful. I want to tell you, it's a privilege to work in ministry. It just is. It is. That's not to say it's always a bed of roses, but it's a privilege to serve with Christ and to serve Christ. It Is Written is a medical missionary organization. We have 2 major medical missionary projects going on now, one in India, and if you're looking for a mission experience, if you'd like to come with us to Mongolia, where 97.5 people out of 100 are not Christian. There's an exciting project taking place right there. I'm glad about this, and I thank you because you've made this possible. Our resources, our new It Is Written Bible study guides have now been printed in Arabic, I'm glad to be able to say. They're being used in the Middle East and with Middle Easterners in the United States. It's an exciting time. There's more to say, but that's not why I'm here. It Is Written is about what you're about. It Is Written and the Northeastern Conference, or shoulder to shoulder. We are both committed to evangelism. That's what the church is for. There are times that people are tempted to get it wrong and think that the church is a club or a country club or a social meeting point. And while there's nothing wrong with socializing, we call that fellowship. That's good, that's necessary, that's a must. We cannot allow anything to take the place. We cannot allow anything to supersede the importance of soul winning, of lifting up Jesus. For that's why we are here. If somebody hadn't been committed to soul winning, I would never have read The Great Controversy. I would never be here. I would be working in secular media. I would be lost, very lost. I am thankful that God plucked me out of the fire like a brand from the burning, because somebody cared about evangelism, sent me a book, had people praying for me, prayed for me. I am thankful. And I am grateful that It Is Written is privileged to work alongside Northeast and Southern New England in a great effort taking place in October of this year to reach the citizens of the great city of Boston. Dozens of churches across greater Boston combining together to lift up Jesus and preach His word. Thank you to the pastors and the leadership of the Northeastern Conference churches in the greater Boston area who will be participating with us in this really momentous event. If you travel to Boston, and I'm certain many of you do, some of you live there, you would not ever come to the conclusion that the problem with Boston is too much preaching. No one has ever said that the problem with Boston is too much compassion, too much outreach. Nobody has ever said, tell the church members to lay off in Boston because we've run out of lost people to reach. That has not been said. We have a great work to do, and I'm just thrilled from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Northeastern Conference, for the privilege of laboring together with you and your outstanding pastors in the greater Boston area. This series will begin early in October, and we can expect that by the grace of God, there will be many who will come to know Jesus and who will embrace Him and surrender to Him and serve Him. They'll come as lost. They'll go as disciples and disciple makers.